Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started with today's spirit message, I would like to take a moment to say thank you. Several of you wrote some pretty awesome comments on the last couple of videos I posted. Not only to thank me for the videos, and thank you for that, but to share your own experiences, your own upgrades. And it was just wonderful to read those, and it'll be wonderful to everyone else to read those as well. So again, thank you. On the note of comments and whatnot, if you like the videos from myself or from anybody, please do remember to like, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, leave comments and questions. It helps, as YouTube creators, it helps our videos be more visible to other people that are interested in the same things you are. Do stay till the very end of today's video. I'll share a special message from my spirit guides that came through in this morning's meditation. So today's video is about a body in motion stays in motion. And so what does that mean? Well, first of all, we're all very familiar with the law of inertia, that whatever in physics, whatever is happening to, for instance, a ball in a vacuum, it will continue in the motion it was in. If it had no motion, it will stay completely still. There's nothing to take it out of its motion. If it's in motion, it will continue in that motion forever, ad infinitum, until something gets in its way or stops it. And what I have found is that principle applies to every single thing in our lives. If you are used to getting up every day, if it's your normal motion to get up every day and go for a jog or a run, it's going to be harder for you to not get up and do that. Like, you are in the motion of, I get up every day and go for a jog, and it feels weird and funny and not normal to not do it. Conversely, if you're used to just sitting on the couch a lot and watching television, it's a lot harder to change that motion, or lack thereof, same thing. It's harder to change that motion into getting up and being physically active. And you can apply that to any part of your life. You're used to eating a certain kind of food. You're in that motion. It just feels funny to do something else and maybe get off of your healthy regime or whatever you've got going. And then once you're in another motion, it's a little harder to get back to the original motion. So a body in motion stays in motion. Why am I talking about this? Because the very same thing holds true for the state of consciousness that we choose to hold ourselves in. We are traditionally used to having our conscious focus in being physical beings with the concerns and the events and the worries, etc., of daily physical life. And we've had a tendency to sort of sequester off our spiritual life. Like, we're focused in the physical, the beam of our consciousness is focused on surviving and doing what we need to do in the physical. And when we have time, we turn our attention to the fact that we are spirits, and often even talk about it in terms of we have a spirit. So I've said this before, and Bashar says it. We are not a body with a spirit. We are spirit. We are God consciousness inhabiting the earthly vessel of the body. And remember, we're not just this little focused personality of consciousness. We are our multidimensional consciousness, our expanded consciousness, and inhabiting this earthly physical vessel. So today's message is all about choosing and staying in the motion of being identified with yourself as God consciousness, spirit first, that holds all of your physical experiences, versus being a physical being that holds the ability to focus on the spiritual when you have time and it's convenient. So you're literally flipping your identity, your motion of consciousness, from being a physical being that sometimes turns attention toward the spiritual to being spirit, God consciousness, that focuses part of itself in the physical earth vessel and focuses on physical events and tasks and situations. But the primary self-identity is always spirit. When you're in the lower end of that upper octave, you are in love, compassion, cooperation. You have empathy for other people. You're accepting. You're kind of unconditionally loving. You're not judgmental. You're not adversarial with others. So it's a very loving, unity, cooperation based place to be. When you go into the upper part of that upper room or upper octave, you actually experience a discernible, almost tangible shift in consciousness. You feel the difference in the type of human consciousness you're living in. For me, and I explained this in the I've Had a Profound Shift video, it's a very distinctive, different feeling of consciousness. You're aware of yourself in your expanded, greater, multidimensional God self, and you're aware of yourself simultaneously inhabiting the physical earthly vessel. The state of consciousness actually feels different. I know Paul Selig's guides call it the upper room. I experience that part of it as a higher, different room. And that's the only way I can explain it. It feels like a higher, different room. You're still you. Your surroundings still look the same, but there's an entirely different feel. There's a difference almost in the density and the quality of the feel of your consciousness. That's the only way I can explain that. And so you can be aware of your body literally being lighter, more porous, more filled with light, even though it looks the same and you're walking around the same as you did. You can be aware in some inner sense that your environment, again, even though it looks the same, the trees are the same, the neighbor's house is the same, it all isn't as dense, and you're aware of it. You can't perceive it with your eyes or your ears, but you're just aware that there's a different composition in your physical self and in your environment. You feel empowered to co-create your life and your environment in a very direct, conscious way. You no longer feel bound by the parameters, the rules of how it is in physical life. I've often likened it to you're not playing checkers anymore, so you're no longer bound by the rules of what you can move and where you can go. You're not in checkers anymore, so you're not bound by the rules of checkers. And the difference in the sense of self and empowerment and identity in that upper vibration is more like maybe you've been playing by all the rules in the soccer game, and now you're going into 3D virtual chess. You're still you, but it just feels different. The age that you are, the age that your body is, just for me anyway, it just became meaningless. A number on a page means nothing. And in this upper vibration of the upper octave or the upper room, you can become a lot more telepathic and empathetic, of course, and more accepting of and aware of, or ready to be aware of, other higher dimensional beings, other consciousnesses and consciousness entities that are not physical. So all of those things can come burbling up when you are vibrating in the upper vibration of the upper octave, which is already the higher vibration anyway. So to reiterate, we need to choose to, instead of having our normal baseline being focusing our beam of consciousness on being physical beings and turning attention to the spiritual when it's convenient, when we have time and when we feel like it, flip it on its head to where you are God consciousness, a being of light, spirit, a multidimensional consciousness, inhabiting a physical earth vessel, living life, but you're living it from whole consciousness. Your consciousness is like a beam, and you can narrow it in where you want to and need to, and once you know you can, and you can broaden it out to where you want and need to. So your consciousness doesn't have to be just trained on the survival, surface level physical stuff, and now and then train it just on being spiritual. You can actually broaden your entire beam of consciousness to where you're walking around in whole consciousness. Again, aware of yourself as God consciousness, spirit, having a physical experience in the physical earthly vessel, but with all the awareness and the creative empowerment and joy and love that's in the entire consciousness, which is your God consciousness. And that is whole consciousness. And so to reiterate, the body in motion stays in motion principle really matters here, because it's time for us to choose the motion the consciousness motion that we place ourselves in and stay in. Instead of our normal baseline state being physically focused consciousness, survival oriented physical things with occasional and even regular dips into spiritual focus. We need to flip that and be in our spiritual focus, our expanded selves, aware of ourselves as the God consciousness that is experiencing through this earthly physical vessel. The wonderful thing is that to make that choice and to flip the way we identify ourselves from physical with spirit when it's convenient to spirit, God consciousness with part of ourselves focused on physical, is that all you have to do is intend it, desire it, choose it. Devote a few minutes, 10 or 15 minutes every morning to first, before you do anything else, reminding yourself that you are God consciousness, expressing and experiencing and learning about your own identity and your true creative empowerment through this unique perspective and pathway of consciousness that you are, but that you are first and foremost God consciousness. Ask the higher dimensional beings for help raising your own consciousness vibration into that higher state. Ask the ascended masters, your guides, angels, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians. There are so many, Yeshua. There are so many that are just there, ready, willing, and waiting to help. You do need to ask for the help. They're not going to just step in and intervene if you don't ask for the help. You don't have to do special meditations or diets or practices in your day. You don't have to do any of that. Just the desire and the intention to raise your vibration to where your baseline is, I am God consciousness, spirit first, and part of me is focused here in these physical tasks and enjoying my life and doing what I need to do, but I am God consciousness, spirit first. And then here and there throughout the day, just take a moment to step back from whatever's going on and turn your attention to, I am God consciousness first. I am spirit. It immediately pulls your perspective back to, I'm here and I hold all that. I'm not in all that. It's not holding me. I am here and I hold all that. And I am the God consciousness. In Matrix Energetics, I was taught to call it dropping into the field of the heart. And of course, many entities call this going into the heart. If you're going through something during the day that's challenging and pulls you out, really one of the best things you can do is simply invite it to come back into the heart or the field of the heart. Literally, just whatever troubles or worries or difficult situations going on, just invite it into the heart. Invite it into the field of the heart. You will be amazed, because what that does is immediately puts you in your spirit, God consciousness, self-identity, and you are no longer held within the problem that's going on. So that was the Body in Motion Stays in Motion message for today, that it is appropriate and it is time for us to very deliberately choose the motion of consciousness that we're going to make our normal baseline that we want to stay in. Don't go away. I still have an invitation for you and also a special message from my spirit guides. The invitation I want to extend to you today is to join me for my twice monthly Sunday Spirit Talks. I do these on the second and fourth Sunday of every month at 4 p.m. Eastern via Zoom. And these talks were previously available only to my Patreon paid members, but I just want them to be as available and accessible to as many people as possible. So I have opened up registration. Anyone who wants to join us can. You would just click the link in the description below and register. I am offering them on a free or donate what you wish basis. So if you can afford to donate a little bit of money for the Spirit Talks, great. If you can't, please attend anyway. If you want to join my Patreon page as a paid member, that's making a regular monthly donation, and so that's wonderful as well. This Sunday's talk, which would be March 9th, is going to be all about the male and female energies, the male and female principle, the divine mother the Divine Father, what those energies are, how they play out in the universal consciousness and in our experiences, how we experience them in our own lives, and why and how to balance them. And the special message that the Arcturians and Ascended Masters and Pleiadians all want me to share with you today is, and these are the exact words, accept all good things for yourself. Accept all good things for yourself. It is not a question of deserving good things. It is not a question of working hard enough to have earned the good things or being worthy of good things. Good things are yours to accept. They are already yours. All you have to do is accept them. Some people call that being in receivership, receiving, and I have too. But even that word receiving, it just sort of has a connotation of you're receiving something, some benefit, gift from some other entity, from somewhere else bestowed upon you. You're receiving something given to you by something or someone else. And it's not even that. It's your good is there for you, and it's there for you to accept. The good is yours. You just need to accept it. So again, exact words, accept all good things for yourself. And I can lengthen that to accept all that is good. Accept all that is good for yourself. You do deserve it. It is yours. It is yours by birthright. It is just for you to accept. Accept all that is good for yourself. So I hope something I shared today helped. Thank you so much for watching this through, and I'll see you next time. Blessings.